Hi everyone, I'm back with another video. Um, Hopefully, well, I can't say that. Hopefully my other one wasn't too rambly, but I think everybody knows that's the way it rolls with me. I did say that I was going to show another deck, and this is one that I also got for my birthday, which is coming up in September. I'm big on early birthdays. I'm still trying to get like my whole filming thing down. I was not an expert before I stopped doing the videos. I think my video, I'm back in February, and then after that everything went Corona. So the deck that I got was, I'm sure there's been some reviews on this already. And let's see if I can just try to get my camera angle right here. Is the Barbara Moore Wizards Tarot, and it's illustrated by Mikey Janssens, and it is a Llewellyn deck, and so I really don't have, a bad thing to say about Llewellyn. I enjoy their decks. I like the card stock. I like these boxes that you can keep your cards in. It's big enough so that, I always put my cards in some sort of bag. Right now, I've been, my trend has been to pretty much try to reuse bags, and I am currently reusing my Ipsy bags. And sometimes I can find ones that match kind of what I'm feeling, and other times it's just quirky, and I'll throw the cards in whatever bag. So it comes in the nice box. It's got that magnetic closing. A lot of times I don't keep the cards in the boxes together, but this one's big enough that you can, and it's nice and sturdy, and it looks great. Aesthetically, I think Llewellyn does a great job. And it comes with a wonderful book. Also, just a quick aside is Barbara Moore, I think, is fantastic. I enjoy her guidebooks. She's done guidebooks for quite a few decks, and I don't know really, if you don't know who she is, definitely check her out, but I highly doubt that. I think she's pretty well known in the tarot community. But again, if you're new to tarot and you're just starting out on your journey, welcome to the wild, wonderful world of tarot. And she would be someone that I would recommend that you look into. She has a wide variety and of decks, and I have some favorites among them, and I'm sure this one is going to be one of them. All things wizards and magical, and I think definitely if you feel any sort of affinity for Harry Potter, this deck is probably going to appeal to you. And also, she mentions, it's mentioned, and I don't know if it's the artist that mentions it or where the artwork is coming off from. Probably a couple of television shows that are also pull in as far as inspiration. Let's see, Harry Potter books, the All Souls trilogy, the Dresden Files, great show, the Magician's trilogy TV series. And like they said, there's probably some ones that you'll be able to make an association with that she wasn't conscious of, or the artist wasn't conscious of. But I think, and as far as Barbara's, obviously, I think they collaborated, closely in how the deck and everything was going to be looked at, and how each card. But the representation, I think, is great. It does make me think of all of those shows. Criticism, I don't, it's, I mean, right off the bat, the book is beautiful, as all, and there's Barbara, and there's the artist, Mikey Jensen, a little write up about it. What I love about the books, is you got the big pictures. Each card has a big picture. It'll probably be better if I actually get to the actual card. Okay, so like the Fool. Has a nice big picture in the book. So if you want to, what I like about it, and especially now in this world, if you don't have a space, there's times when I'm finding that if you have to wait anywhere or waiting to do something, that includes lines or certain hours where you have to shop between now because of COVID-19. If you have a little time on your hand, this is very portable. You'd be able to, immerse yourself really with the cards and the deck and the explanations and the meanings, but really have a good picture of the cards. And I find that very helpful now because, like I said, it's very portable. I don't have to drag my cards around. And if I'm going to be somewhere where I'm waiting, to go into a store or whatever, there just seems to be a lot of waiting nowadays. You can take this book and there's the card, there's the meaning, and you can just take this with you. So I really enjoy that. I love the big picture with the. This is one of my favorite cards. I love that card. It just makes me feel like you can get even you're drawn more into the imagery. And sometimes with cards, it's like you can't get all the details, and if there's some sort of detail in the card that you're supposed to be pulling a meaning from, sometimes it's hard to just get it on that card because of the size. And here this picture really blows everything up. So I really do enjoy that about the books that come now with Llewellyn's decks. They're really, beautiful. And if you enjoy an artist and their artwork, you're like, gorgeous. You can just sit and look at that. To me, they could all be put into paintings, actually. I'm sure she has. If you probably look up the artist, I'm probably not doing her any favors. She probably has artwork that you can buy. I'm sure. She's so talented. And I just love the modern with the mystical. I love how, like she's in jeans and yet you've got the wizard kind of magical aspect of her long gown and the hat. But just that, basically she's just an everyday modern person exploring a magical world, and I love that. And so as far as criticisms, I think probably the thing that I'm noticing the most is just the lack of diversity, to be honest. And maybe just because of everything that's been going on recently, and the Black Lives Matter, like I find them more hypersensitive. I mean, I was always noticed when a deck doesn't include, and I get it. I mean, sometimes it's the way the deck is made that it is geared towards a certain audience, but I really don't understand, I guess, the lack of diversity in it, to be honest. So to me, that was a bit strange. This is another great card. It won't, it won't take apart from my enjoying the cards, the images, the artwork, and the actual way Barbara puts her books together. And I think there's probably no greater tarot author as far as explaining the tarot. She does a wonderful job about it, and she's I just, like I said, maybe now it's just more glaring to me that there is a lack of diversity in the deck and in the images itself. And so yeah, I would say that's the only criticism. But as far as the artwork and the cards and the meaning, and being able to pull out like this magician card, like beautiful. The cards themselves, I should just probably get off the book and let you see the cards. It's got the backings of the dragon, and I love all things dragon, so to me that was I like this artwork. Not really reversible, but you know what, if you know me, you know I don't like I don't work with reversals anyway, so to me it's not an issue. The cards are borderless, which I love, and I love the little gold bar down here that I'm sure there's a technical term for that instead of just bar down here. I love the lack of borders, because I'm not one that trims my decks, only because I'm not in any way, shape, or form put some scissors in my hands and ask me to cut something is dangerous as far as like trimming or I just no, everything comes off crooked, and I don't have the patience to. I think it just takes patience, and I don't have it. And I tried once and had a disaster, and I would never do it again. So yeah, when I get a deck, it stays that way, and so it's refreshing to me to get some borderless, but I'm not going to lie. As far as cards with borders, they don't bother me either. I have never encountered a deck where the border actually interferes with me looking at the artwork or what's in the actual card because of a border. Everybody's different, but for me, I'm able to take the cards, but it's refreshing to me to have the full image without a border, because like I said, most of the decks I have, if they have a border, it stays, it's not going anywhere. So it's refreshing. It makes the decks a little different. I hope you guys can see the cards. They're a standard size card, I would say. So other than that, and the card stock, it's Llewellyn card stock. It's bendy, but it holds. Like, it'll go back into position. The great thing about these cards, once I flip through these really quick, is I just love the way the Llewellyn cards shuffle. They are great. I am a person that loves to really shuffle my cards. When I get thick cards and they stick together, I'm not happy. So I like it when I'm able to shuffle my cards and they're durable and they're bendy and they go right back into place, and I think Llewellyn does a great job with that. It's my personal opinion. I just love it. This is a great Emperor. The cards are like glossy, they got that glossy finish, but I hope you're able to see the images okay. But beautiful, beautiful artwork. I love the Hierophant with the two students studying the before the chalkboard, and like lessons in magical theory. I like that for the Hierophant. The lovers. I love the apple on this side. I love the way you can see. This almost looks like a serpent, green serpent twirling around the pillar, and I like the symbolism in this card. Chariot, I love that it's got two dragons. That's awesome. And the lotus flower is very, it's predominant throughout. I love strength, obviously, with the dragon. I think it fits with wizards and magic, that kind of fantasy world. The Hermit, I love the Hermit. Great Hermit card. That's my card, so I always look to see what the Hermit's going to be in a deck, and I like that one. I like that he's like, he's not. What I like about this is that he's reminds me of Merlin. And it also, I love the fact that he appears to be in motion and about to, not just standing in contemplation. He looks like he's actively going somewhere, and there's a power around him and a purpose. I like that about the hermit, because I don't think the hermit is completely about, it is a part about retreating and gaining knowledge, but I do think this is a great representation that you can get this light and the lantern, and you need to share that, affect change with it, move out into the world eventually. And I feel like this is a good representation of the hermit's entire purpose is not about just retreating. It's about gaining knowledge, but it's also then taking that knowledge and going off onto a mission. It's very also Gandalf, Lord of the Rings, going out, in search of starting a quest that's going to battle the dark forces or whatever he's assisting. And I believe that's one thing about it. You can study and gather knowledge, but you're supposed to take that knowledge and move out and use it and assist others with it. So I love that image, because it really does show a wizard that's in motion, not just standing and contemplating. The Wheel of Fortune. I do like this because to me it brings it down to the quantum level. It's definitely got the quantum level feel to this. I'm huge in quantum physics. I believe it is like the science that connects spirituality and the way the universe actually works with our solid universe, and kind of breaks it down that we're always in motion, and there's a lot. I love the symbols of the zodiacs in here. This green with the leaves makes me think of earth, and the fire with the red, and I just love the way they made this quantum symbol, and the pentacle in the middle I think is just great. The Hanged Man, I think, is very good. I like this card as well. Again, the modern looking person being suspended from a tree, and the background with the books through the window there. The fact that he's suspended over water, his hands touching into the stream, I like that as well. So yeah, I like that for the Hanged Man, because I do believe it's showing that you're grounded to the tree with the roots in the earth, and the water flow is there, and the light is shining in. So you're getting all of the elements, I think, in this card. Justice is interesting because it's the scales, crossed swords on the banner. And I think, what else do you need to know? It's about justice. It is about weighing things, and moving on from that. Once you make the determination and you've weighed everything out, what sort of action to do with that. The devil, death is a great card. I like the angels. This card reminds me of that show that's on Netflix. I don't know if anybody's watching it besides me, but Lucifer. I kind of like this card. It reminds me of those characters. So again, when I find like there's different shows or movies or whatever that kind of you can relate to it and find something in an image that makes you think of a show or a book or something. I like that about it, because to me it's easier to make the connection between the card and when you're doing a reading. If you can find something that can say, oh, that represents this to me, which I equate with this, I think is pretty good. It assists, I think, at least does me, in when I'm reading with a card, that I can instantly get the message of what the card means, and I don't get lost up in so much in the book meaning of the card. I'm able to use this as intuitively in connection with the films or movies that I'm finding in the cards. So I do like the imagery that Barbara has put in with this artist. Temperance, I think that's a nice balance. It's got the infinity, and it's kind of like hovering magically, like it's got like an alchemy kind of feel to it. What she's pouring from the cups, not just water, but actual some sort of force power. Liquid gold here, liquid silver. It just seems like it's magical what she's pouring out, not just water. But then again, water is magical, as some people. I shouldn't say some people. There's I believe I'm not going to say it because the power of water. I'll have to get the book so I can show you just about how a man has written a book, and it was about the studies of water and how emotions can change water. At the top of my head, I can't remember the person's name, and but it was very interesting, and so that's what I think of magic is magical anyways, and not just water, but feelings and emotion can change the actual molecular structure. That was his study, and his ability to actually photograph water at a molecular level after it was like put in front of like hostile images or vibes or vibrations and happy ones, and then break it down to show a picture of what that water looked like after being exposed to that kind of hatred or whatever kind of feelings and emotions, and how the molecular structure of the water changed. And I can remember what that book was. I will put it in the description. I apologize at the moment. It's lost in my space up here in my head. The Devil card. I'm not going to go into like too much more detail outside of like, the tower. Obviously, it's a great tower. It's like the typical, looks like it could be Hogwarts castle there, the school. The star, lovely. I like how the heron's in the background. Heron, crane. I really like the moon card because it really gives me a feeling of an H.G. Wells kind of feel to it, otherworldly. You've got the big, instead of just a crab, it's like this menacing kind of crab creature. Between the pillars are like towers, the moon. You've got the wolf and the dog, and then, like I said, it's like this huge menacing crab. It's an interesting take on this card. The sun, I love the sun. I'm not a big fan of creepy babies and little kids, but it doesn't bother me when they put the baby on it. But it's nice to have something for the sun represented in a different way. I like that, and I like the feeling of this card. Judgment. I like this as well. I like the owl in the tree. I like how the tree is mystical looking, and you get the awakening kind of belief. Like, I like it. To me, it's more like you're rising out of sleep. They always in old times used to equate death like a sleep, and the fact that you wake up and you can see what it's all about. The spiritual connection, knowledge is within the owl. I think is represented well here for this card, and the world. So again, it's the kind of wizardry, woman that's dressed like in a way that presents like kind of fairy, magical, and then the little fairies up here, and the hummingbird. I just love, and the salamander, and the little gnome elf fairy person at the bottom. I like that as well. I won't like, I don't know, I just do a quick flip through the aces. Are nice. I like the lotus. Like I said, the lotus is throughout the deck in various places, and I like that. The ace of swords, and the ace of pentacles. So it gives you an idea of how the cards on that aspect are going to look. I won't do a whole flip through because I'm sure there are lots of flip throughs and walkthroughs of this deck by now. I think it's been out quite a while, but it shuffles, like I said, it shuffles nicely. The cards are great for that. And like I said, you know, if you read reversals, it's not going to be reversal friendly, but I don't, so that's not like an issue for me. The modern, the way they pull in the modern kind of look to the cards in Magic, I love that. Obviously, it's nice to get a connection that Magic is not something that's ancient, but something that everyday people now can bring into their lives. They just have some great, powerful cards in here, and this is one of them. I do enjoy that representation of the Eight of Swords. So, yeah, that's just a quick review on the Barbara Moore's The Wizard's Tarot. And it's illustrated by Mikey Janssens. And like I said, a huge plus to me is the books that Lou Allen puts out. I just love and adore them. It's not a very diverse deck, which you can see that right away. But for me, it doesn't take away from the magical part of why I got it, and that I do enjoy the artwork, but it would have been nice if it was a little bit more diverse. That's just my personal opinion. But as far as the overall product, I don't, like the cards and the book and Barbara Moore in general I just, if you want to learn tarot from someone that has devoted a lot of her life and has, I think, really been able to put it in a way in which you're able to get an understanding of it, and the way she writes and just pulls everything together, and I think is incredible. And I would say she's right at the top as far as her tarot books and the way she explains, and to be able to learn from her, she's wonderful. And I do thoroughly enjoy this deck. Like I said, I was looking forward to it. I'm excited to have it in my collection. I can't wait to start working with it. I'm not so sure what month I'm going to work with this deck. Right now I'm getting to know it, and by my previous video you can see that I'm kind of in a really high philosophy kind of feeling with the Kabbalah, and more like a study mode right now. So not that you can't study with this deck, because the imagery in it is very, very good, I think, as to allow you to jump off. And I would say what I love about this deck is, if you don't have to have a lot of theory behind it, this deck will lead you, if you have an affinity for all things wizard, magical, that you will be able to relate to this deck in a way that will probably assist you in working with the cards and tarot intuitively, just because of the images, if you can relate to them. And the artwork is definitely there to pull you in and get your own feelings. And then to have Barbara's explanations also is like a total bonus to me. So if this is something that you're interested in, and I would 100% recommend getting this deck, because I think you're going to be able to incorporate this into your practice, and it will work very well. I think if one of the things you're having trouble with is reading intuitively, which to me that really means connecting with the images and knowing when you look at the card what it means and what the card means, I think you can get that very easily if this is something that you're interested in as a genre. It's pulled off very nicely here. I'm going to end it here. It's probably dragged on forever, and hopefully I'll get another video up today just on some books that I'm I'm reading right now outside of tarot, but also kind of a bit witchy, but more in a recreational kind of witchy. And I'll leave it at that. But I hope you're all having a great time, that you're all safe, enjoying your weekend. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Blessings.